All right, so we're looking at this problem, trying to figure out how to solve the second part. I would recommend doing a calculator. Gauss-Jordan elimination calculator. This is essentially a matrix calculator. We'd want to make it a, let's see, 3 by 4. Just going to plug in the coefficients. So we solve this. Essentially, we have x needs to be less than or equal to 15 halves. x2 has to be less than or equal to 5 halves. x3 has to be less than or equal to 20. So if we set this to 0, they're getting 15 for the first term and 5 for the second term. When you set this third term to 20, you get 15 halves and 5 halves. So the second solution, the 15 halves, the 5 halves, and the 20, that technically is just what we get from the matrix here. This other one, though, what they're asking is essentially plug in 0 for this. Then this really, if you plug in the 20 from this other one, you get 400. And 400 is half of what you need for 800. So what happens is you lose 400 by plugging in 0 instead of 20, plugging in 0 here instead of 20. So instead of having 400 here, and then these two add up to 400 by plugging in this and this, you need these two to add up to 800. So you need it to be double. And so what you do is you just take this value multiplied by 2, you get 15. Take this value multiplied by 2, and you get 5. So you have 0, 5, 15, 5, 0 as the other solution. What is it talking about? Like, what do these points actually mean? Technically, I wanted to show you real quick on a three-dimensional graph. Since it's there's three variables, x1, x2, x3, you can think of it as x, y, and z on a three-dimensional graph. So this is a three-dimensional graph on GeoGebra. So let's see, this would be the positive coordinates over here. I've already plugged in the equations. I didn't put in less than or equal than. So what you want to do is whenever I hit one of this, so this, you want to think of everything below this because it's less than or equal to it, so everything below it. So in these other two equations, you want everything less than this, so below it, and then this equation, the last one. There it is. So these are the three planes that are created. The idea is x, y, and z all have to be, if you think of this as x, this is y, this is z, all three of them have to be greater than 0. So you only end up in this, they call it an octant instead of quadrant. It's an octant. So the answers have to be over here. If you look at it in this direction, it has to be in this quadrant. If you look at it in this direction, it has to be in this quadrant. If you look at it in this direction, it has to be in this quadrant. So this is the octant that would be the solutions. The two solutions that we actually find, this one and this one, if you plot them as points, so this one, that's the 15 halves, 5 halves and 20 point. So the idea is that there's a x, y, and z value. All of them have values. This one down here is whenever you plug in the z value to be 0, essentially. The x3 value is 0. And then these two values are from the x and y. So what's happening is they essentially become boundary points where these three planes cross each other. So this point is where all three planes cross each other. So that's where we get this solution. This point is just if you set this to 0, what's the furthest out you can get, and then right there happens to be that b value. So that's what we're doing. We're doing three-dimensional. Whenever you do three variables, it's just systems of equations with three variables. It becomes a three-dimensional graph. But hopefully it helps a little bit.